to have the discussions, and we're not. Instead, it's about whether your grandmother's going to be taken away in a black helicopter, or whether Barack Obama says in the country or not. And those can be legitimate, but they're not directly towards the healthcare bill. That doesn't help the conversation.
But what do you think about going to this Tea Party? Going to this Tea Party pushing all the stuff that they're pushing. What do you think with all that stuff? Do you think that's a legitimate thing?
No, quite honestly, I'm going to tell you something. Mike Smelter and I, in many ways, agree on the problems, and the 9/12 and the Tea Party organizations are very frustrated, and they're probably just as frustrated as me. I think all of us are concerned about the direction of the country, and that comes down to the politics of it. It comes down to our jobs. It comes down to just the basic decency on television and to treat each other properly. If you look back between the Bill Clinton years and the George Bush years, it was pretty straightforward. Republicans hated Bill Clinton. Democrats hated George Bush. And that's not the way to run this country. We're all Americans. We're all on the same team. We all want the same basic things.
But let me just go back. I got to go back to the Tea Party. Now, if you watch this bus called the Tea Party Express, have you studied the history of where that come from?
I'm not sure.
Well, I guess I have to educate you.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Well, the Tea Party Express, that bus was started by a couple of people to make money. It wasn't for what it's being used for right now.
Really?
No. If you go back and look on the internet, you'll see that these people don't really get involved in politics. They started something, and they hired a bunch of actors and actors to portray the Tea Party thing, and they have raised almost $2 million.
Right.
Now, once they did this, other people thought it was legit and started joining in. And then they got, of course, you got Sarah Palin and all of them now. All of these people join in, and they're like it's a legit thing. But that's what it was started for. It was not a legitimate thing that was started. It was done for to make money.
Yes.
And it wasn't be about politics.
Honestly, this is what the problem with politics. People use the control issue to abuse people's frustrations. And I do believe that the Tea Party supporters are frustrated, as frustrated as I am with the direction we're going. And that is being can be misused, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or Independent. Doesn't matter. Your beliefs can be misused very easily.
When you said in the direction that we're going, what makes them think that we're going in such a wrong direction? Because someone else said that, first of all, are they all experts on the economy, or are they just listening to someone that's telling them things, or everybody's supposed to be an expert all of a sudden? Where were they at when the Bush administration was around? That's what I question. But I'm saying that all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of so-called experts on TV saying this and saying that. Some say you were going to make it, others say you ain't going to make it. And it seems like they like to believe the negative more than the positive, when everything in the country so far has pointed that things are coming around better and better. So why should there be such a discrepancy? And why is the Tea Party fighting when everything seems to be better and better? The jobs are now being created. There are thousands of jobs being created, not as fast as they like to. The economy now has been slowed down, is coming back. The stock was up over 300% more than it has been in 40, 50 years. And all of these positive things are going on, but yet we have the negative. And that's what I'm trying to understand, trying to make sense of it.
Well, I think the biggest problem is the media. And as much as I like to hear the Republican Party claim about the liberal media, I complain about the media in general. I mean, the media is focused on their job, which is making money. It's not necessarily reporting the news. So although the news, that's why I like shows like yours, which we're supposed to talk. And so the media message can get out without any bias.
All right.
But it is honestly part of the problem is the news organizations are looking for what gets results. And quite honestly, economics isn't that fun. So it doesn't get the attention it deserves for us to have a debate about it. So that is the point of the representatives. Our job as a representative is to take that problem out of your hands and to solve the economic issues you need to dealt with.
And those are things that I know, because all the people that I know have asked questions have asked that same question: what's going on with the economy? I said, hey, I'll get them in there. You talk to them. You ask them. I don't know, because I'm trying to be. I want to try to be a little fair, because I don't want to really try to. I think that there seem to be some legitimate concerns, you say, in the Tea Party, but some of the things they say sometimes makes me sit up and look and say, wait a minute, I understand that, but that doesn't go with that. And it makes me sort of wonder. I don't want to take nothing away, because we got the 9/12, whatever that come from, all of a sudden it's a 9/12 Tea Party, but that's here. I guess they're saying they're different than the other Tea Party. I guess I don't know. But then what frustration is frustration. Why the negative and making negative comments on the president and stuff. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure
doesn't help us. It doesn't take the debate forward.
That's uncalled for. I mean, sure you can disapprove of things, and that's fine. Everybody has the right to their own opinion.
Yeah, you got to hold somebody accountable.
You got to hold somebody.
You have to ask a hard question. You don't attack somebody's personal life. You don't go after somebody's personality.
But
their policies, what they do, that has to be a discussion.
That kind of disturbed me. I said, come on now. I mean, why don't you start doing that? And the people that have become associated, well, those people said, no, that ain't us. Well, what they say, association, bring up similarity. You can be accused of doing wrong things, but if I'm hanging out with a bunch of crack dealers, and I said, well, I'm not a crack dealer, who's going to believe me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, if you're going to go up there and you got people doing negative things like that, and you're going to say, well, that ain't us, yeah, sure. Well, why do you let them hang with you?
Right.
Why do you let them be a part of your party?
Right.
They need to weed that out and get away from the truth that you really fight of your point, and that's fine. And I don't quite understand it. I was just shocked on some of the things that have happened. And I don't understand it. That's why I also want to get everybody and let them talk about it, get the public to understand what's really going on. What Todd Platt said, I like the way he explained things. We got this call from Florida for you. This is from the state of Florida coming. This is Keith.
Florida.
This is Florida. Hello, Keith. How you doing?
Hi, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
How you doing, Joe?
Okay. How's it down there? Is it hot?
It's beautiful.
All right. You got a question for our candidate?
Yeah, I have a question, but it's gonna be like in 3 parts.
Go ahead.
Do I need a pen?
Do you need a pen? All right, go ahead.
All right. First off, I'm a Pennsylvanian, but I'm in Florida right now.
Good.
And I want to know when Congress, because you're running for Congress, I want to know when Congress is going to get out of bed with the insurance companies, the financial institutions, and the oil companies.
I'd like to know that too. Vote for me, and I promise you I will not be in bed with them.
Well, here's the deal, okay? They're playing a blame game, and we have a big oil spill down here in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
And it threatening a lot of marine life, and it's also threatening a lot of shoreline. All right, and they better dang sure get it cleaned up before hurricane season comes, which is right around the corner.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a bigger mess. Second off, the financial institutions. If they can, if Congress and the Senate can find a way to spend trillions of dollars to bail out financial institutions who caused this mess that we're in, that we all have to dig ourselves out of. If they can bail those people out, why can't they bail out the American people? If I'm going to put it point blank right up front, if they took that money and wrote every American a check for $330,000, which it would have come out to be with all the money that they've given to the financial institutions, people would have had their homes. Detroit wouldn't have had to been, Detroit, Ford, Chrysler, none of them would have had to been bailed out by the government because people would have been buying cars. The banks would have got their money in the long run. To me, I see this as nothing but a big sham for the financial institutions to take possession of everything, the American dream, and destroy it. And we talk about terrorists. That's one of the biggest chaotic terrorist organizations we have in our country because there's no regulation over them. I mean, I wish I could run around and gamble on other people's money and say, oh, gee, I lost and I need a bailout of a couple $1 trillion, and then they get it, and until Congress and the Senate both, I put the blame not just on the Republicans or the Democrats, I put the blame on both because everybody's so scared about voting no to the financial institution bailout because there's so much money from those organizations in the Democratic and Republican Party.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
So that's your question?
Yep.
I got to ask you one question.